Srimate Bhakti Vedanta
Swamin iti namine.
Swamin iti namine.
Namaste Saraswate Deve.
Namaste
Saraswate Deve
Gauravane Pracharine.
Gauravani Pracharini
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi.
Nirvisesha Punyavadi
Paschatya Deshatarine.
Paschatya
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya.
Jai Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda.
Prabhu Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadara.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara
Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
So starting from 8th verse till 14th verse we will be covering. In the last session we had understood about the spiritual world, why it is important to become detached from this material perspective. What are the requirements for a person if he wants to become liberated from this material world are explained in that 15.5. That's a very important perspective there, verse there. So now how the Jiva transmigrates in this material world is communicated in this next 3-4 verses. So which has been elaborated as a point in 2nd chapter, which has been explained as a point in 2nd chapter. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. The Jiva transmigrates from one body to another body is explained in these 3-4 verses. So please repeat after me. Shariram yad avapnoti yachapi utkramat ishvaraha
Utkramatishvaraha
grihitvaithani samyati
Grihitvaitani Samyati
vayur gandhani vashayat. Once again, Shariram yad avapnoti yachapi utkramat ishvaraha
Utkramatishvaraha
grihitvaithani samyati
Grihitvaitani Samyati
vayur gandhani vashayat.
Ayurgandhani Vasayat.
So Krishna is saying here, Shariram yad avapnoti, the living entity in this material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another, as the air carries aroma. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. So like if air is coming through a beautiful rose garden, you experience the smell of the rose. If it is coming through a dustbin, we will experience the smell of the dustbin. So similarly, the living entity also carries the different conceptions of life from one body to another body as air carries aroma. So this is an analogy in which how living entities transmigration happens is explained. So the importance of Ishvara refers to the living entity as the controller of the body. So he can decide whether his body can be of high grade or lower grade. Jiva can decide. So this indicates a minute independence what Jiva has. And it can change the dependence on his consciousness at the time of death. So change depends upon the consciousness, because how we have trained, we will think at the last moment of our life. So in the last chapter also we have studied, if they are in the Sattva Guna, they will be transferred to the planets of demigods. So but if he's in the Tamo Guna, he'll become in the consciousness like animals. But if he's Krishna conscious, if he's always thinking of Krishna, he will go back to Krishna's plan. So this is explained in the 8th chapter, 5th sloka. Antakalecha mam yeva. If the last moment of your life, if you think of me, you'll come back to me. So this verse also refutes the false claim that after annihilation of body, everything is finished. This is a Mayavadi perspective, where they say everything ends with this body. So how we are is based upon our present body, and present activities are background of the next body. So based on our activities, we will be getting a similar body. So on the basis of karma, subtle body carries the conceptions. Like we all say sometimes, it's all purva janma kruta paradam. So we are enjoying our suffering based on our last life's doings. So whatever activities we do, we'll enjoy our suffering in the next life, similarly. And its word, there is a word used in this shloka as karshati. So this process of transmigration from one body to another and struggling for existence while in the body is used as karshati. So in a similar verse in Bhagavatam where Lord explains to Uddhava, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Manah Karma Mayam Nrunam, Indriye Panchabir Yutam, Loka Lokam Prayatyanya, Atma Ted Anuvartate. So Manah Karma Mayam Nrunam, the material mind of man is shaped by the reactions of fruit to birth. Indriye Panchabir Yutam, along with 5 senses, Loka Lokam Prayati Anya. It travels from one body to another, various planetary systems, various bodies it travels. Atma Yad Anuvartate, the spirit soul, although different from this mind, follows it. Just Anuvartate, it follows the subtle body. So that is the point that is explained. So similarly in the third canto also, Kapila Deva explains, Dehena Jiva Bhutena Loka Lokam Anuvrajam Bunjana eva karmani karoti aviratam puman. So due to his particular type of body, the materialistic living entity, Jiva Bhuta, wanders from one planet to another, Loka Lokam Anuvrajam, following fruitive activities, Bunjana eva karmani. In this way, he involves himself in fruitive activities and enjoys the result incessantly. Karoti aviratam puman. So next verse explains about how our next body is, how we look, how we talk, how we perform. Everything is based on our last life's decisions. So this is the perspective here. Please repeat the verse. Stotram Chakshu Sparshanam Cha. Rasanam Granam Evacha. Adhisthaya Manaschayam.
Adhisthaya Manaschayam.
Vishayan Upasevate.
Vishayan Upasevate.
Stotram Chakshu Sparshanam Cha.
Stotram Chakshu Sparshanam Cha.
Rasanam Granam Evacha.
Rasanam Grahanam Evacha.
Adhisthaya Manaschayam.
Adhisthaya Manaschayam.
Vishayan Upasevate.
Vishayan Upasevate.
So here it says how the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ears, Strotram, Chakshuhu, like tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about by the mind. Adhisthaya Manaschayam. So based on the mind, he will get a similar type of gross body. So he thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So what conceptions mind carry, your next gross body will be based on that kind of mindset. And he will similarly, he will be enjoying that kind of sense object. So this is an analogy. Original consciousness is like pure like water. The spirit soul is originally pure. Consciousness is changed according to association of material qualities. Just like when water mixed with various colors, recently Holi, everybody had played with different colors. The water only, plain water, when it mixed with different colors, it comes into different visualizations. So real consciousness is Krishna consciousness. But if it is adulterated with qualities of either cat or dog, one can get any of these 84 lakh species. If you are pure Krishna consciousness, we'll go back to the spiritual world. But if we are in this material world with contaminated consciousness, we have to accept one among that 84 lakh species of body. A quotation from Bhagavatam, which says, Vishyabi niveshena natmanam yat smaret punaha jentor vai kasyachit hetor mrutyur atyanta vishmriti. So when the living entity passes from the present body to the next body, which is created by his own karma, Vishaya abhinivishena, na atmanam yasmaret punaha. He becomes absorbed in pleasurable and painful sensations of the new body and completely forgets the experience of this previous body. Na atmanam yasmaret punaha. He will not remember about his past one. This total forgetfulness of one's previous material identity, which comes about for one reason or the another, is called as death. Mrityuhu atyanta vishmutihi. This is the highest forgetfulness. Vishmutihi means forgetfulness. So in one lecture, Prabhupada says, Shastra Chakshusha, you should see through the Shastra, Vedas. So that is our advice. We don't see with our imperfect apparatus. Eyes are imperfect. All our senses are imperfect. Either you see through microscope or telescope or any scope. There is no scope of seeing right. So this is explained. Therefore, Shastra says, Vedanta says, Shastra Chakshusha. Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. In the Bhagavad Gita, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. Eyes to be enlightened by knowledge. That is realized. Not this blind eyes. Therefore, Guru is worshipped. Om Ajnana Timirandas. So it is very easy to understand these things. But if you have to become so dull on account of sinful activities, therefore to understand properly, to have clear brain, one has to become pure. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, no gambling. And then when we are advanced, then we shall learn other things also. Pashyanti Jnana Chakshusha. These are innumerable planets. Each planet is different from the other. You can see on one tree there are millions of leaves, but you cannot find two leaves of the same size or the same shape. So this is God's will. How can you expect the same atmosphere in another planet? See, like Prabhupada is explaining about an analogy, how in this material world, not two things are same. So like if even there are twins, they may look alike, but there will be always minute difference. You can easily identify either by their talk, language, the like skill, or something will be there which is unique to each living entity.
Real solution is that Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra says, Athata Brahma Jignasa. Now you don't inquire for any other things. Why should you? All other things required by you, that is already supplied. It will be supplied. Why you bother? You just try to understand the value of your life in Krishna consciousness. That is your only business. Tasaiva heta prajateta kovida. Kovida, those who are intelligent. Tasaiva heta, for that thing, prajateta, endeavor. So try to get that thing. What that thing? Nalabhati jat bhramatam uparajadha. Just like people are struggling wherever you go, material world. Either you go to London or go to Paris or to Calcutta or Bombay, anywhere you go. What is the business? Everyone is struggling. Day and night the motor car going this way, that way, this way, that way. Last night I was speaking with Sudhakirti. Wherever you see this nonsense thing, any city you go, the same road, same motor car, same same petrol.
So this is how the material world we have been running around. So that is not the importance for us. Now it is time for us to understand the knowledge. That's why it is called as Atado Brahma Jignasa. Now we have this human form of life. Now we have to inquire into that Supreme. Okay. Next, who can pursue this? Who cannot pursue this is explained in this verse here. Please repeat after me. Utkramantam stitam vapi. Gunjanam va gunanvitam. Vimudānānu paṣyanti. Paṣyanti jnana chakshusha. Utkramantam stitam vapi. Gunjanam va gunanvitam. Vimudānānu paṣyanti.
Vimuktana pasyanti
Pashyanti jnana chakshusha.
jnana chakshusah.
So here Krishna says the foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Those who are trained in knowledge, jnana chakshusha, pashyanti, they can see. So jnana chakshusha. So without knowledge, one cannot see things clearly. Then what kind of knowledge? Hearing from Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures from bona fide spiritual masters. Then who is that real fortunate person who is trained to see all these things? Then who are these fools? Persons fooled by lust and desire cannot comprehend the change of bodies. Then what is the attitude of Krishna conscious devotees? The highly developed Krishna conscious individuals try their best to give this knowledge to people in general. So they are known as best well-wishers, Shreyo Bilashi, because they want everybody to become liberated. And because they know the troublesome conditioned life, so they want to educate everyone. So one must liberate himself and go to the spiritual world to get out of this world, which is temporary and full of miseries. So the attitude of devotees is to give opportunity for everyone to quit this world and go back home, back to Godhead. So one who follows the path of Ravana is condemned in two ways. That his body is fit to be eaten by dogs and vultures, and the soul goes to hell. So as stated by Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita, those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Thus, destination of godless atheists such as Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kapsha, and Dantavakra is a hellish condition of life. Mandodari, the wife of Ravana, could understand all this because she was a chaste woman. Although lamenting for the death of her husband, she knew what would happen to his body and soul. For although one cannot see directly with one's material eyes, one can see with eyes of knowledge. Pashyanti jnana chakshusha. In Vedic history, there are many instances of how one becomes godless and is condemned by the laws of nature. So this is in context with Ravana when he dies on the battlefield. What was Mandodari's consciousness? Although she was physically lamenting, she knew because he had offended Mother Sita, who was a chaste wife, she knew he will be destined to go to hell. Similarly, in Bhagavatam, Krishna also says, Nityadahi anga bhutani bhavanti na bhavanti cha kalena alakshya vegena sukshmatva tanna drishyate. So, my dear Uddhava, material bodies are constantly undergoing creation and destruction by the force of time. Kalena alakshya vegena. This kalena, it's a force of time. Bhavanti na bhavanti cha. It is created and destroyed. Whose swiftness is imperceptible. That is alakshya vegena. But because of the subtle nature of time, sukshmatvat tanna drishyeta. No one can see this. So next, who can see and who cannot see are perfectly the consciousness of people who are elevated. What do they see? Is concluded in this verse here. Please repeat after me. Yatanto yoginaschainam pashyanti atmani avasthitam
Atmani avasthitam.
yatantopi akritatmano
Yatantopi akratatmano.
nainam pashyati achetasaha.
Ainam pasyanti achetasaha.
Once again, yatanto yoginaschainam
Yatanto yoginaschainam
pashyanti atmani avasthitam
pashyanti atmani avasthitam.
yatantopi akritatmano
Yatantopi akratatmano.
nainam pashyanti achetasaha.
Ainam pashyanti achetasaha.
The endeavoring transcendentalist who is situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try to do so. This is the difference between a perfect realized transcendentalist to those who are not realized in self-realization. So here the word yoginaha is being used. But in the modern day, there are many yoga societies who are blind to self-realization. They are more concerned with the body, not with the spirit perspective. So they simply want some gymnastic exercises to keep this physical health. That's why they are called as yatanto api akrutatmanaha. They are not intelligent people. They are foolish people. They do not know what to keep fit. Material body, spirit soul. Which one to be given first priority? So therefore, bhakti yogis are the actual yogis because they have realized the self, the world and the Supreme Lord. They are in complete knowledge of everything. That's why they can see things as they are.
So, those who are intoxicated, they cannot understand. They think, it is my property. I have stolen this land of America from the Red Indians. Now it is my property. But he does not know that he is a thief. He is a thief. Tena avasa uchyate in the Bhagavad Gita. One who takes the property of God and claims his own, he is a thief. Stena avasa uchyate. Therefore, we have got communistic idea. A devotee, Krishna conscious person. We have got Krishna conscious communistic program. What is that? That everything belongs to God. Just like they are thinking that everything belongs to the state. These communists, these Muscovites, or the Russian or the Chinese, they are thinking state-wise. But we are thinking not state-wise. We are thinking God-wise. Everything belongs to God. The same philosophy you extend, simply you require little intelligence. Little intelligence. Why do you think that this state belongs to a few number of people? If you think that the population, American population, this land of America belongs to this population. Why do you think like that? You think this is a property of God. So, every living entity is a child of God. God is the Supreme Father. And Krishna says, Aham bija pita. I am the seed-giving Father of all living entities, sarvajonishu kaunteya, in whichever form they may live. They are all living entities, they are my sons. Actually, that is the fact. We are living entities. We are sons of God. But we have forgotten. Therefore, we are fighting. Just like in a nice family, if anyone knows, father is supplying us food, so we brothers, why should we fight? Similarly, if we become God conscious, if we become Krishna conscious, this fighting will be over. I am American, I am Indian, I am Russian, I am Chinese. These are nonsense things will be over. Krishna consciousness movement is so nice. As soon as people become Krishna conscious, these fighting, these political fighting, national fighting will be over immediately. Because they will come to real consciousness that everything belongs to God. And as the children, a child of the family has got right to take advantages from the father, similarly, if everyone is part and parcel of God, if everyone is child of God, then everyone has got the right to use the property of the Father. So, that right is not that the right belongs to the human being. According to Bhagavad Gita, this right belongs to all living entities. Never mind whether he is living being or animal or trees or birds or beasts or insect. That is Krishna consciousness. We do not think in terms of that simply my brother is good, I am good, and all bad. This kind of narrow, crippled consciousness we hate, we kick out. We think, Pandita Samadarshana. In the Bhagavad Gita you'll find, Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastine Sunicheta Sapakecha. Pandita Samadarshana. One is Pandit, one is learned. He sees every living entity on the equal footing. Therefore, a Vaishnava is so compassionate. Lokanang hitakarino. They can actually do the beneficial work to the human being. They are saying, actually feeling that all these living entities, they are part and parcel of God. Somewhere or other, they have fallen in the contact of this material world, and according to different karma, they have assumed different types of bodies. So Pandita, those who are learned, they have no discrimination. That this is animal, this will be sent to the slaughterhouse, and this is man, he will eat it. No. Actually, Krishna conscious person, he is kind to everyone. Why the animal should be slaughtered? Therefore our philosophy is no meat eating. No meat eating. You cannot. So they will not hear us. What is this nonsense? This is our food. Why shall I not eat? Because Redamana Mada is intoxicated rascal. He will not hear the real fact.
So Prabhupada explains the nature of Vaishnava, how he is compassionate for the other living entities. But foolish people cannot understand this perspective. That's why they get lost into this world. So next, how the Lord in this world, he is managing various aspects and various activities has been elaborated in the next 3 verses. How he helps the living entity also in this material world has been enumerated here. Please repeat after me. Yad aditya gatam tejo
Yadaditya tejo
jagat bhashayate kilam
jagadbhasyate kilam
yad chandramasi yad chagno
yachandramasi yacchagnam
tat tejo vidhimamakam.
Tatejo vidhimamakam.
Once again, yad aditya gatam tejo
Yat aditya tejo
jagat bhashayate akilam
jagadbhasyate akilam
yad chandramasi yad chagno
yachandramasi yacchagnam
tat tejo vidhimamakam. So here Krishna is saying the splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. So in a material world, anything you see, it is all emanating from the Lord. That's the point of perspective, what Lord is trying to communicate. So what is the benefit of such a conception of life as given in this verse? So this invokes Krishna consciousness in the conditioned soul because they can perceive Krishna's connection for every object. But unintelligent cannot see how things are taking place in this material world. In such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. Like how sun provides illumination, with rise of sun, all our activities begin. One sun illuminates the entire solar system. Each universe has only one sun. Then moon is one of the stars, very pleasing to the people and nourishes the vegetables. The fire helps in cooking and many factories. So without Lord's mercy, there cannot be sun, moon or fire, without which no one can live in this world. Like in one discussion, Dr. Singh, scientists are worried about energy sources. And now they are working to utilize solar energy for cooking, lighting and various other purposes. They are hoping that when they exhaust all other energy resources, they will be able to use solar energy. Prabhupada, this is not very new theory. Everyone knows that because the roots of trees store the sun's energy, it is possible to get fire from a tree. These scientists are tiny creatures, but they are very proud. We don't give them credit because they are simply stating what everyone knows. As soon as you cut a tree, you cannot get fire from it. It can be dried in the sun. When the energy is gathered from the sun, the tree can be utilized for fire. So actually everything is being maintained by the sun's energy, but the scientists do not know where the sun's energy comes from. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the splendor of the moon which dissipates the darkness of this world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. See how Prabhupada explains the relevance of how the sun maintains its entire universe. So next verse, please repeat after me. Gama vishya bhutani.
Gama vishya bhutani.
Dharayami ahamojasa.
Dharayami ahamojasa.
Pushnami chaushadi sarva.
Pushnami chaushadi sarva.
Somo bhutva rasatmakaha.
Somo bhutva rasatmakaha.
Gama vishya bhutani.
Gama vishya bhutani.
Dharayami ahamojasa.
Dharayami ahamojasa.
Pushnami chaushadi sarva.
Pushnami chaushadi sarva.
Somo bhutva rasatmakaha.
Somo bhutva rasatmakaha.
So Krishna says, I enter into each and every planet. Dharayami. Gam avishya bhutani. Avisha, Gam, he enters into everything. And by my energy, they stay in the orbit. Dharayami ahamojasa. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Somo bhuta rasatmakaha. So he is the juice of the life of all vegetables. So all planets float in the air only by Lord's energy. Because Lord enters as atom. Into each atom, planet and each living entity's heart by one plenary portion, Paramatma. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. So living entity floats on water till he is alive because of the presence of spirit soul. Similarly, planets float because of presence of Supreme Lord. So planets are held like handful of dust in a fish. Thus he keeps all moving and non-moving things in place. So there are various Vedic hymns in this perspective. Then Supreme Lord is the source of the moonshine. Because the moon nourishes vegetables, they become delicious and succulent. The word rasatmakaha means this indicates that everything becomes palatable by the agents of the Supreme Lord through the influence of moon. So in one lecture, Prabhupada says, first of all, we have to consider how this planet is floating in the air. It is floating in the air as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Gam Avishya. Because Krishna enters within this, Krishna just like he enters within the atom, he is the spirit, supreme spirit. Because the supreme spirit is within, therefore it is floating, not the weightlessness. Weight is there, very heavy weight, just like you can test. This body will float in the water so long you are living. As soon as the spirit soul goes, then immediately the body goes down. The law of gravity acts, the so-called law of gravity. This is an example. A child, as long it is living, you can take in one hand. But as soon as the child is dead, it becomes heavier. So that is natural. So everything is lighter as soon as it is spiritually advanced or there is spirit. Similarly, when we will be spiritually advanced, then there will be no impediment. Now we cannot fly in the air, but when we are free from this body, your spirit soul within a second can go to the Vaikuntha Loka. It is so light within a second. So Lord, here specifically how Lord enters into the body. See, most of us eat food and the food becomes digested. So we all say that Jataragni or the fire within the stomach. Lord says, I am the source of that fire. So please repeat after me. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva.
Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva.
Praninam Deham Ashritaha.
Praninam Deham Ashritaha.
Pranapana Samayuktaha.
Pranapana Samayuktaha.
Pachami Annam Chaturvidam.
Pachami Annam Chaturvidam.
Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva.
Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva.
Praninam Deham Ashritaha.
Praninam Deham Ashritaha.
Pranapana Samayuktaha.
Pranapana Samayuktaha.
Pachami Annam Chaturvidam.
Pachami Annam Chaturvidam.
So he says, Lord says, I am the fire of digestion in every living body. And I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the 4 kinds of foodstuffs. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha. Prana Apana Samayuktaha. I am that air which is Prana Apana, going and coming. Pachami Annam Chaturvijam. And because of me, you digest all 4 kinds of foodstuffs. So the importance of digestive fire as per Ayurveda, the fire in the stomach digests all the food sent there. If the fire is not blazing, then there is no hunger. So in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said, Supreme Lord is situated as fire in the stomach and digesting all kinds of foodstuffs. In the Vedanta Sutra also it says, the Lord is situated within the sound, body, air, and even within the stomach as digestive fire. So what are the 4 kinds of foodstuffs? Swallowed, chewed, licked, and sucked. Chaturvidam food. These are the 4 kinds of food what we eat. The landlord knows as another apartment there may be in this building, but I do not know. But the proprietor of the building, he knows everything. Similarly, I do not know how things are happening within my body, how I am eating, and they are being transformed into different secretion, energies, and distributed in different parts of the body. I do not know. I am simply eating, but Krishna knows. So therefore, Krishna says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. Krishna is also helping you in digesting your food. That is also stated. Suppose your digestive power is not working. That means there is something defect. But it can be put into order by Krishna. If a man is dying, he can be saved by Krishna, not the physician, not the medicine, because Krishna knows everything. Food, of course, voluntarily offers food to the Supreme Lord that then he eats. But those who are not offering, those who are not devotees, for them also God eats. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Aham Vaishvanaro. Unless God eats the stomach, you cannot eat. You cannot assimilate. Then you will be in indigestion. So this is a fact. Unless God eats, you cannot eat. Unless God sees, you cannot see. Unless God walks, you cannot walk. You are completely dependent. But falsely we claim that we have got eyes. We ask somebody, can you show me God? But how can you see God? Unless God sees, you cannot see. That is a fact. You are subordinate. Therefore, one cannot see God unless God sees God. So then we can see. This is the fact. So this is the quotation what we saw in the earlier reference. Aham Agnir Vaishvanaro yo ayam anta purushe yenedam annam pachyate. The Lord is the fire of digestion, within the man by which the food is digested. Shabdadibhyo anta pratisthana cha. If there is objection that the fire of digestion is not Vishnu because of opposing statements and he is residing in the human body, the answer is that the fire is actually Vishnu because meditation on Vishnu is taught.
Once upon a time, in a forest lived a wise monk. He had 2 disciples, Hari and Somu. One day, Somu thought, our Guru must be teaching extra lessons only to Hari. That is why Hari is always happy and contented. Somu wanted to clarify this doubt. So he went to his Guru and asked, Guru, why do you teach extra lessons only to Hari? Guru smiled and said, no, I teach you both equally. It depends upon how well you listen. Then, why Hari is happier than me, Guru? Somu asked again. Guru smiled again and said, it depends upon his perspective, his way of seeing things in life. Somu was still not convinced. To teach Somu a life lesson, Guru said, all right, Somu, let me give you and Hari a task. You will understand after that. Somu agreed. The Guru called Hari too and said, go to the nearby village Nagahalli. Somu, you find me one good person, and Hari, you find me one bad person. Somu thought, it's an easy peasy lemon squeezy task. So Hari and Somu started their outing to the village. First they saw a man pulling his crying child. Somu thought, what a bad man! He is not allowing his child to play and makes her cry. Next they saw a man holding a cow's horn. Somu thought, Why are these people hurting a cow? Then they both saw a woman carrying a grasshopper in her hand. Somu thought, "Ow, won't she allow the grasshopper be in its place? Will she keep it as her pet or cook and eat it?" Similarly, Somu found fault in everyone he saw in that village. Both of them returned back to Guru's ashram in the evening. Somu said, "Guru, there is not even a single good person in that whole village," and explained Guru how everyone was bad. Guru smiled and asked, "What about your perspective, Hari?" Hari said, "I am so sorry, Guru. I couldn't find any bad person. All people are good in one or the other way. First, I saw a caring father pulling his child who was scared and was about to fall in the river. Next, I saw a kind farmer taking care of his cow, applying medicine to its wounded horn. Then I saw a caring woman moving the grasshopper from people's pathway and leaving it on a safe tree." Somu was shocked to know Hari's perspective. Both of them saw the same things at the same time, but Hari's way of seeing things was optimistic. Now, Guru smiled and said, "Somu, do you understand how to see things in life now?" "Yes, Guru. Thank you for this eye-opening lesson." From that day on, Somu too listened to his Guru with complete trust and lived a happy and contented.
So simple story. So for us to understand how our perception will give an idea about what we see is correct or not. So we have to be very careful how we train ourselves. If we train in negative thoughts, we only see negativity everywhere. If we train in positive thoughts, we see everywhere the positive perspectives only. So this is a training what we have to go through so that properly we can be situated in right consciousness. I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? Okay, then thank you all of you. We'll again meet next week. We'll finish this chapter. The conclusion of this chapter with the Vedanta Sutra, what is the basis of Vedanta Sutra and what is explained in Vedanta Sutra will be narrated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Sumanto, you can wind up.
Yes, Prabhu.